What's up, everybody? Welcome to some Damia action. Hope you're ready to get your Sultai Planeswalker on. Get some nice little Ashiok down. Maybe Vraska. Oh, man, I love Vraska. She's an awesome Planeswalker. I don't know. She's good. Solid. Love it. And I think she's going to be coming out in the new set, which I'm really excited about. Ooh, playing against Yasova Dragonclaw. Let's get our commander popped out just a little bit. Now, as far as our opening hand goes, we've got Flooded Strand, Marsh Flats, Forest, Pulse, and Impulse. Yeah, we're going to keep on this one. It's not too bad. We'll grab some black sources off those fetch lands, and then dig a little bit deeper with that Impulse. Sounds like a plan. And we are on the play. Let's go and get the Marsh Flats down, and then anything else. Now we're going to go and pass the turn. We're playing Damia, Sage of Stone. She has Death Touch. Skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Playing against Yasova. She, pretty sure it's a she. Yeah, Yasova. We're going to go with she. At the beginning of, she has Trample. Then at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, gain control of target creature, and opponent controls a power less than her power. Gains haste, untap it. Okay, now let's go ahead and crack this Marsh Flats. Let's grab a black source off this one. Probably going to grab the black-blue land. Pretty sure we clicked on that. There we go. Okay, just going a little slow. I think we need to grab the Fetid Pools. Yeah, there we go. It's going to come into play tap. That way we get it out of the way. And then we have the Water Your Grave if we need to shock it in later. Let's go ahead and get the Flooded Strand down. Anything else? No, we're good. We're going to go past turn. So we're going to be online for Impulse. We can look at the top 4 cards of our library and then put one in our hand, the rest on the bottom. Be a good way for us to dig. Find ourselves a nice little Planeswalker. If not, then we can slowly work our way towards a nice little bribery. And I'm sure there's something, probably something good hanging around in there. And then with the gain control ability, with power less than... Yeah, it's power, so we'll be okay if we get down Damia. But yeah, so I added some changes to Damia, and I was kind of testing earlier, and kind of put a smile on my face. I'll tell. Actually, let's go and crack this this Flooded Strand. It's pretty funny. Let's see what we can grab on this one. Do we need to grab a Breeding Pool? We're going to be off double black, unless we're going to grab another Watery Grave. Then we'll be off double green. Let's go and grab a Tropical. Let's grab the Breeding Pool. Put it in the play tap. That will be online for the Plasma Capture. Not going to pay 2 on that one. Actually, yeah. I meant to Impulse. I meant to shock that one in. Let's go and get the Forest down. And let's go and go for Coalition Relic. That way will be, if we want to go for Bribery, which might be a pretty good option, I'm going to put a charge counter on it and then go for it next turn. So in fact, I think we may go and do that. So let's go and put a charge counter on it. And then we'll go and pass the turn. But yeah, so earlier I was testing out Damia. And my opponent, I'm pretty sure they'd seen Damia on the channel because they got down the... I think it's Declaration of Not. It's the double blue enchantment that when it enters the battlefield, you name a card. And then it has the activated ability to counter that spell when it's cast. And so I hadn't got down Damia yet, and then my opponent named Villainous Wealth off that. So I was like, okay. I think that was a little bit of a metagame call on that one, but it put a smile on my face. I enjoyed that one. Okay, actually, we need to put a charge counter on it. That's what we need to go for. Put a charge counter on it. Remove those 2 charge counters. Let's go ahead and double blue. Let's go ahead and go for the bribery on this one. See what they got cooking in the kitchen. Maybe we can grab ourselves a nice little prime time or something. Hopefully. That'd be pretty cool if it is in there. It feels good if they do have Birthing Pod out. At least they have some sort of nice little hasty creatures. Okay, we're completely tapped out. Something like Zealous Conscripts on Birthing Pod's out. Let's see, what sounds good? Acidic Slime, we can blow up the Birthing Pod. Eternal Witness, the Greater Gorgon. So with the Royal Elemental, whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain control of target creature for as long as you control it. I think that sounds pretty good. Gain control of that... I think that sounds good. They may be able to gain control of it, though. I was going to go for that. I like that. Get the Royal, put it on the battlefield. Let's go and get the... let's get the Catacombs down. Let's go and gain control of that Lana War. So that way we keep them off the Birthing Pod. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And we get ourselves a nice little mana dork. Anything else? No, we're going to go past turn. Yeah, I like that. And then if they do getting their commander down next turn by taking the charge counter off the Vivid Creek, then we can crack in response and gain control of it. Then kind of gain control of the creatures from the gain control deck. I like it. But yeah, they named Villainous Wealth off that Declaration of Not. And I thought that was pretty funny. It's just a good meta call on that one. So definitely enjoyed that one. But yeah, if you now... Ooh, Cyclonic Rift. Okay. Got it, man. At least, yeah, and then I'm going to get the Lana War Else back, and it goes back to the hand. Okay, we tried to live the dream. Let's go ahead and crack the, equip the Skull Clamp on there, digging a little bit deeper. Let's go and crack the Catacombs, grab a second black source off this one. We're okay on black-green. Let's go and grab an Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, put it into play tap, not going to pay 2. And the next turn, we're looking at getting down the island. Excuse me, we'll be online for Plasma Capture, get a little bit extra mana, and then we might be able to kind of transition that into either, Avengers Zendikar, which we just drew into, Or we can get down Damia. I think that sounds pretty good. Let the coalition trigger go. There we go. Let's go ahead and get the. Do we want to save it for the island? We could put 2 charge counters. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go for Avengers Zendikar, Plasma Capture 7, Impulse, then get the land down. Yeah, I think we'll. There'll be a couple creatures we can get on the battlefield. I think that sounds good. Yeah. Let's see if we can't catch a Plasma Capture, maybe on the commander or something else they want to get down. And then we can use that mana, and then make sure we have a land drop for the next turn to make sure we really utilize the plant tokens. And I'll be okay with 4 plant tokens that are 1/2s. Get some little bodies on the battlefield, and it's not the best for if they want to take a plant token, then go for it. Yeah, we're gonna go past there and hold on to that island. So, and if they don't cast anything, we can still go for impulse too. So. But yeah, if you haven't seen this Damia deck, this is pretty much just Sultai good stuff in here. We have a heavy theme on Planeswalkers. Some of the ones that are really fun to play with. We have Ashiok and Vraska. Love Vraska, man. It was the first Planeswalker I spent good money on. I think it was like $7, and I don't know, I just felt good buying it. Because I got in during Return to Ravnica, so it was kind of the first Planeswalker of the set that really, I've always been a green-black mage at heart. And yeah, I was like, treat yourself, man. Get yourself a nice little Planeswalker. And then I think I ended up building like a green-black Assassins deck with it, which is really cool. And I remember I won like once or twice with Vraska's tokens. And I had a bunch of like the, I just went Assassin Tribal. So I may have to kind of sleeve that up for the channel sometime. I don't know. It's just really janky. Okay, so we have Hull Breach on the Coalition Relic, destroy target artifact. If we Plasma Capture... It's going to be 2 mana, and then we can put a charge counter on. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm well enough. Let's go and put a charge counter on it, and then let's go and go for the plasma capture on that spell. They're really left with just 3 mana, and then at least right now it's a given that we're going to be able to get this. So let's go double blue and then double green. And if we want to, we might end up going for Damia. But that'll kind of just be a game control target for Yasova. So I'm actually okay with going Avengers Zendikar. So we're going to get that 2 mana added to our mana pool. We'll be able to make the land drop for the turn, get down Avengers Zendikar. And if we draw into a fetch land or something, that'd be great. But if not, then I think we'll be able to kind of get a nice little board state, rocking and rolling. Sounds good. Alright, so we're going to add that mana to our mana pool. Bantu's Last Reckoning. Okay, let's go and add that charge counter on it. I'll put them on the stack. There we go. Put a charge counter on it. Then we're going to add double green on this one. Remove those charge counters. There we go. Let's go Avengers Zendikar. 1, 2, and then 3. I guess it doesn't really matter how we sequence that. Because either way, we'll still have the island to get down for the impulse. Get those plant tokens, let's get the island down, make those nice little 1/2s. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And they're going to be online for impulse, so we can go for our opponent's turn, and then we can swing in next turn. We've got 9 points of damage coming across. Sounds pretty good. And then if they do end up getting down Yasova, we do have the pulse to kind of clean that up a little bit. And they don't really have any creatures out there for Birthing Pod, so I feel like we're in a good little spot. And then we can get look to getting down Damia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we hit the land drop, we'll be online to simply go for Damia. And if we want to that bad, we can impulse for a land or kind of see what sounds good to us. But as far as the new cards that I added, yes, I added, I think, I added that's for Hapatra. I added the green Crucible of Worlds creature. It's a little snake dude. I can't remember his name. But we can play lands out of the graveyard, which is great because we have a lot of fetch lands in here. We also added Torment of Hellfire, which I just love that card. It is a Punisher card, so sometimes it doesn't work as planned. But when they come out with new cards like that are really fun, hey man, I like to give him a shot, kind of play with him. We can always rotate it out at the next set. Creatures control of haste whenever a creature power 4 or greater is in the battlefield. You may draw a card. Okay. Got it. So we're going to go for this impulse at the end of the turn. They've only got 2 mana up and probably not going to be able to have any creatures to show for it. So I feel pretty good about this impulse. Let's go and go for that. If they have a counter spell, so be it. Okay. Ooh, there's Torment. Okay, Phyrexian Arena, Sylvan. Ooh, that's some beautiful card draw. Do we want to go for Sylvan Library? I'm going to be able to dig a little bit deeper with that over Phyrexian Arena. And we'll still be online for Pulse if we need to. Yeah, let's go and go Sylvan Library. I like that. Okay, and then put these on the bottom in any order. And let's see if we hit the land drop for the turn. Creeping Tar Pit. Okay, we'll go and get that down. Get down the Creeping Tar Pit. Let's go for the Sylvan Library. That'll be an extra counter on all those little plant tokens. And then we can also make it unblockable and swing in next turn to at least give us a little bit of extra damage we can go for. We've got the trigger on the stack, and then we're going to get down Sylvan Library. They'll still give us 4 mana. Do we want to pulse anything right now? About the only thing we could maybe pulse would be the breeding pool. But do we need to take care of it that bad? They really don't have any creatures in the hand. Let's go and get the Sylvan Library down. Could go for Skull Clamp or Loxodon Warhammer. If we're trying to get damage down, and they don't really have much to show for it, they really haven't got any creatures out there, let's go and go for Pulse on the Loxodon Warhammer. That way, they just don't randomly get a creature with haste and kind of steal the game from us. Let's see if we can't kind of close it out with some Avengers Zendikar and these plant tokens. I mean, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 13 points of damage coming across, so if we can keep them off that lifelink, I feel that'd be pretty good. Alright, going to come in hot. Attack with all creatures. Go Avengers Zendikar. Feels pretty good. Normally this is pretty heavy soul type planeswalker, so it's kind of nice to go Avengers Zendikar beat sticks. Anything else for the turn? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. So, if things get a little bit too crazy over there, let's say they could get their commander down and birthing pod into something, we at least have Bantu's Last Reckoning as a kind of a cheap way to get blow up the board, or we can simply activate the Creeping Tar Pit. So, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, that's going to be 13, and then with the Creeping Tar Pit, it's going to be 16, so it'll actually be lethal next turn. If we're going to go for that. Okay, got the Scourge of Skull of Val. Trample, put the Skull Clamp on there. Sacrifice another creature, put a number of +1 counters on it equal to the sacrifice creature's toughness. Okay. It looks like they're going to go for the... Well, maybe. They may do it during combat. Swinging in for 3 first, puts us down to 24. And we do have an untapped Coalition Relic, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can get up potentially up to 8 or 9 mana. If we're going to get that down, see what they kind of skull clamp into. And we also have Sylvan Library, so if we need to be a little bit aggressive, kind of grabbing some of those cards off the top of the library, we can definitely go for that. We have the life total for it. And, you know, depending on what creature they get down, we're representing lethal, at least right now, with them being at 13 without even activating the Creeping Tar Pit. Okay, Tax Duplicate. Alright, so we may end up pushing on the plant tokens and then trying to get as much as we can through, and then going for the Bantu's Last Reckoning. Do we want to put a... Yeah, we'll go and put a charge counter on it. Maybe draw into some spot removal or something like that. Worn Power Stone. Let's go and use the Sylvan Library. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Demonic Tutor into Ranged Hermit. Let's go ahead and put that on top. That'll give us another little army that we can kind of start swinging in with it. So let's go and pay 4 to keep it. Pay 4 to keep it. And then let's go ahead and get the put a charge counter on the Coalition Relic. It's going to be 2. Let's go ahead and double black. I think, yeah, double black. So we'll be online for Demonic Tutor. Yeah, let's go and fire that Demonic Tutor off. What helps us get out of this one? So we can go for Toxic for 1. That'll clear up all their plant tokens, leave our plant tokens on the battlefield, and put us in a spot to where if they want to chump block with the Avengers Zendikar on our creature, they're going to have to go for that. Yeah, let's go Toxic Deluge. Just grab that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and Toxic for 1, and that's going to keep us just right out of Creeping Tar Pit range. Let's go ahead and go Toxic for 1. And unfortunately, we didn't hit a land drop to get those extra tokens on there. And let's go ahead and swing in on this one. So they have no more plant tokens to generate any extra value. We're at least going to go ahead and swing in for 4, which is going to put them down to 9. I doubt our opponent would chump block on one of the plant tokens. They might. But at least we can go and push in on this one. And, you know, we've got 8 points of damage coming across, which would put them down to 5. If we absolutely want to, we could Bantu's Last Reckoning, but I don't think we're going to need to do that. We can simply probably just go for the Worn Power Stone and then kind of rock and roll from there. See what's on top of our library. And if something happens to our little plant army, then we do have Deranged Hermit to kind of do a little bit of re-racking. Okay, so let's go and get the Worn Power Stone down. Alright, 1 Power Stone down. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So, we're going to have some plant tokens. They're going to be 2, 3. That's going to be 8 coming across. So we're going to have lethal with Creeping Tar Pit. And then hopefully we can kind of catch something on top. That way, too, they still have the commander they can get down. And if they want to gain control of one of the plant tokens, they can. We're sitting at 15. And then we have the Deranged Hermit to kind of rock and roll from there. But yeah, so I added the Torment of Hellfire, and I also added Exsanguinate to the deck because somebody brought up that there's a lot of time where I have a lot of mana, but nothing to do with it. So and it's also a really good tutor target for us. So finally added that to the deck and the Torment of Hellfire. So Mizzium Mortars, you got it. We have another little army in the can though. And they have the Hideaway on the Mosswort Bridge. Actually, get Yasova back up there. There we go. Get her down here. We'll just make her just a little bit smaller so we can keep track of the enchantments over there. Okay, let's go for the Sylvan Library. Ooh, Villainous Wealth. Oof. Okay. Yes, we're going to use Sylvan Library's ability. Garruk Wildspeaker and Cryptic Command. Let's go ahead and put the Cryptic Command on top. And then Wildspeaker, we're going to put that on top. Alright. So we can go Deranged Hermit, get ourselves a nice little army on the battlefield. Or we can go for Villainous Wealth. That's going to be... Let's go 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Villainous Wealth for 6. Let's go Deranged Hermit on this one. It's going to give us another. We'll have lethal with Creeping Tar Pit. You know, if you get Villainous Wealth around 8 or 9 or 10, then you usually always hit something. I don't want to get into spots where we just kind of whiff on some spells on that one. That wouldn't be that good. All right, so we got the Deranged Hermit up and running. Let's go and activate the Creeping Tar Pit. And then we'll should have enough mana to go and pay for that Deranged Hermit Echo if we want to. Let's go and swing in for 3. It's going to put him down to 6. And then anything else. Okay, no, we're going to go past turn. So there were some hasty creatures that we did see in the deck. So if we need to, we can go for Villainous Wealth. But if we simply just pay the Echo cost on the Deranged Hermit, we're going to keep that nice little squirrel bonus on the battlefield. I don't know. It's one of those times where you're playing Magic and like, we have a Squirrel Lord out here. Deranged Hermit. Love it. Yeah, I'm glad I added this to the deck. Somebody suggested I put it in there. I'm very thankful for this suggestion because it's made a lot of difference in a lot of my Damia games. So, and that's another thing. So, like when you see my videos, like, you know, one of the things I like to do on my channel is I like to build decks in a community setting. So, there's certain cards I don't particularly like or play with sometimes, or combo heavy style cards. But yeah, you know, if you ever give me a suggestion, I keep an Excel sheet and I have them off, I section off by each deck name. And then now if I'm reading through the comments and say, hey, this would be good in here, I'm like, oh, cool. Then I go over to that sheet and I, like Exsanguinate. Somebody suggested that and I said, you know what, that's right. We need to put this in here. So when I read that comment, I went over to my Excel sheet and I added it to my Damia section. And then I remembered to put it in there. Okay, so opponent's going to get down Eternal Witness. Going to go for that Mizium Mortar. It's going to clear out the board again. So, if we simply just swing in with Creeping Tar Pit, that's going to be 3 coming across next turn. It has unblockable. And then I'll put them in a spot that they get down to 3 mana. So depending on how we want to go, depending on what creatures get out there, we could add it, well, if we end up going Bantu's Last Reckoning and Creeping Tar Pit, that's going to be a lot of mana we're going to have to tap out for. We're still going to go for with the Eternal Witness, but we do release online next turn for Creeping Tar Pit, and unless we hit Exsanguinate, and then we kind of clear the game out. To play around a counterspell, but we'll definitely, that'd be a nice little flavorful way to add it. But yeah, so any suggestions like that always, Loxodon Warhammer, okay, they're going to bring that back, go for the life gain. And it's going to have haste too, so they're going to be able to cast it for 3 and you equip for 2, I think, if I remember correctly. So it's going to give them a little bit of a life total buffer, and then any sort of creature they get out there will definitely be good. So we may end excuse me, we may end up going for a nice little Villainous Wealth next turn potentially. Or if we get down Damia, we'll get into spots where we can really start generating some card value, and then hopefully kind of draw into like Exsanguinate or the Torment of Hellfire to kind of really apply some pressure. If we end up going Torment of Hellfire, they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 permanents that they could potentially sacrifice to that. So that could be a good way for us to kind of close it out. Well, they have 5 cards in the hand, so depending on how much mana we can generate, we'll go for that. But yeah. Could go for Villainous Wealth next turn. We'll see what we got going on as far as the Sylvan Library goes. Okay, Exploit trigger. Enters about return all creatures on hand. Okay. It's going to bounce the Deranged Hermit back, and then they did grab the Loxodon Warhammer, which they can simply go for. We can recast Deranged Hermit. The Villainous Wealth's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we hit the land drop, man, 7 kind of gets in that range where you're going to hit some nice stuff off that. If we hit the land drop, we end up going for it. If we hit Ancient Tomb off Sylvan Library, that'd be pretty good. But I think actually on top it's Cryptic Command and Garruk, so we're not going to be able to go for that because we didn't have a way to kind of shuffle up our library, now that I remember that. Okay, I think that's what's on top. Yeah, Garruk and then the Cryptic Command. At least we'll see one more a little bit deeper. And Doubling Season. Okay, so Deranged Hermit's 5, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 total mana, so we can't actually go Deranged Hermit and Doubling Season. Let's go ahead and we pay 4, puts us down to 11, then puts us down to 7, and then we might lose to some sort of hasty creature. Let's go ahead and let's put this on top, put it on top. If we just go, Deranged Hermit. Get those extra creatures on the battlefield. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll give us just enough mana to go for Creeping Tar Pit, and then kind of stop any sort of, if they end up getting something down with Loxodon, at least we can really apply some pressure with Creeping Tar Pit. Let's go and come in hot for 3. They're going to gain that Loxodon Warhammer, but puts them in a spot to where, if they want to go for Birthing Pod, they're going to have to pay the green on that one. It's going to put them down to 1. If they can gain some life off that, they can go for it. But at least we can kind of apply some pressure like this. But it's been a nice little match so far. If only we could one more Creeping Tar Pit swing and kind of go for it. Psychotic Rift's in the graveyard, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Dax Duplicate and the Eternal Witness. The only thing we're watching out for is them gaining some incremental life off the Loxodon Warhammer. And if we want to trade, we can. We can kind of just simply reset with a Villainous Wealth and kind of go from there. See what they're going for right now. Yeah, I always enjoy a nice little kind of grind, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about Damia, is that it kind of leads to some really nice grindy matches like this. So win or lose, obviously we want to win on this one, but win or lose, it's been a nice match so far. Kind of get your money's worth when you play Damia, which I always enjoy that. Like the Locust God, I recorded that earlier today, and the Locust God was just kind of, it was just over real quick, man. It's pretty brutal. Okay, so we have Yasova swinging in. I think, do they have enough mana to go for the... Yeah, they do have enough to gain control of it with power less than her power. If they want to go for the Deranged Hermit, we're going to lose that little squirrel bonus, but we can still at least kind of chump block with the 1/1 squirrels. And then the following turn, well, they're going to gain that 7, go to 10. So we may end up needing to go for a Villainous Wealth. Hopefully we hit the land drop off that extra card we're going to see off the Sylvan Library whenever we draw. And then they're also in line for Birthing Pod, but they don't have enough to... Well, put them at 3 mana. We'll see. Yeah, they're at 3 mana. They go for the Birthing Pod activation for 1 after they swing. That's going to be them not paying for the 3 mana for the swing in and attack. Okay, so our opponent's going for the Skull Clamp activation on the Yasova. It's going to be 8-1. They're going to be able to draw 2 cards off of that, and it's going to put them right out of the range of going for the activation, or at least the trigger for gaining control, because they only have 2 mana. But it does leave them online for a Birthing Pod activation. So they're going to gain 8, go to 11. On the back end, we're going to be able to swing in. We'll just go ahead and chump block with one of these squirrel tokens, because we may end up paying for the echo cost on this one, because that'll still put us in a spot where we can go Creeping Tar Pit too. Alright, so they go to 11, we go down to 9. It's going to take care of Yasova, and that still leaves 2 mana up right now. So next turn we've got 2, 4, 6 coming across. It's going to be 7, and then actually 3 with the Creeping Tar Pit's going to be exactly 10. They can recast Yasova, kind of gain some more life off that one. Do we want to pay for the echo cost on Deranged Hermit? That's going to be 7 coming across. We can go Creeping Tar Pit, put them down to 1. They recast Yasova. We're going to have to leave up a blocker. They're going to have Trample. Let's go for Villainous Wealth. We need to close this out. We need to get a lot of threats on the battlefield. We could pay for the upkeep and swing in and get them down to 1. So we go Deranged Hermit, pay the echo cost. That'll be just enough for the Creeping Tar Pit. And that's going to be 7. That's going to be 2, 4, 6, 7. 10 coming across the Creeping Tar Pit. They're going to have to play perfect, but then they're going to go Loxodon Warhammer, get the Skull Clamp on there. And then they'll go back to 9. And they'll be able to swing it for 8, which puts us down to 1. Yeah, let's go ahead and go Villainous Wealth. Maybe we kind of get lucky off this one. We're just trying to fight against that Loxodon Warhammer. We can also actually tap them down with Cryptic Command, too, if we want to go for that. Kind of stop them from swinging in. Let's use Sylvan Library's ability. Opulent Palace and Gurk Wildspeaker. Let's go and put the Wildspeaker on top. And then let's go ahead and... we need to make the land drop. Let's go and pay 4 on this one. Pay 4 to keep in the hand. Yeah, I like that. Okay, it's going to put us down to 5. Let's go and get down the Opulent Palace. So we're online for triple blue. Can we go? Yeah, we can go Creeping Tar Pit. That's going to be black. And then go for that swing in and still be online for Cryptic Command. Just want to make sure. It's going to be colorless, black, and then we'll have the blue off the Cryptic Command and more Power Stone. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let's go Creeping Tar Pit activation. That's going to be 6 coming across, and then we'll have Cryptic Command, and then we should have lethal next turn, depending on what they go for. Alright, coming in hot for 6. It's going to put them right at 5. And then if they simply just cast their commander, we can counter that spell, or depending on what they go for, if we get to the attack step, the beginning of combat, we can tap their creatures down and kind of prevent them from swinging in or gaining control of any of our stuff. And then that puts us in a spot where we are online for Creeping Tar Pit and the Squirrel. I think Yasova's been sent back to the command zone once, so we're looking at 5 total mana. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they have 9 mana, so if they go for Yasova, that's going to leave only 4 mana left. The Indomitable, and the creatures you control have haste, can't attack or block, unless you control a creature with another creature with power 4 or greater. Okay, so if they go for that, they get this down, we allow them to get that down, they go for Yasova, we can tap it down, they won't have enough creatures, and we can swing it next turn? I think I like that. Yeah, we'll let that go down. They're going to be able to draw a card off that one. They can't attack or block, and then if they simply cast that for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they'll have 1 mana up, then we can go Cryptic and a Creeping Tar Pit next turn to kind of close it out. I think that sounds right. We'll see, though. See what else we're going to get down. But yeah, this has been a good game so far. Secure Tribe Elder, okay. Got my fingers crossed that we pulled this one off. Man, I wanted to fire that Villainous off really bad, man, but, you know, when you get to 6 or 7 mana, it's just kind of just like, ugh. Okay, so they're going for the activation on that. Let's go 3-1 Trample and Haste. Let's see if they're going to go ahead and swing in. And at the beginning of combat, we can draw a card, and or we can simply just return a permanent to its hand and kind of tap all their creatures. Terramorphic Expanse, okay, that's going to be a tapped land coming into play. So really, we're just playing around 1 blue mana. What they can go for is a Birthing Pod activation. So they can do that in response. Now, if we go for Cryptic Command, tap their creatures, and they're going to be online for Birthing Pod. Well, actually, no, they can't. Well, they can pay the 2 life, and then puts them in Creeping Tar Pit range. So let's go and do that. Let's go and go Creeping Tar Pit. I mean, let's go Cryptic Command. Yeah, let's go Cryptic Command. Tap all creatures your opponents control. Draw a card. Yeah, let's go triple blue. So I'm just making sure I'm seeing this correctly. And then go 1 Power Stone. Tap all creatures and draw a card. And that just leaves up 1 blue mana, so we're looking at like Spell Pierce or something like that. Or okay, tap them down. We do the Gurk Wildspeaker, and go and pass it over. There's going to be 1 blue mana left up, and we have the Creeping Tar Pit activation and 3 Squirrel tokens coming across next turn. You have to have anything else to show for it. And especially if they don't have the Loxodon Warhammers. I think we close it out on this one. We'll take that. Nice little game right there. Trying to figure out what they could do for, you know, that puts them in a spot where they might have Pongify or something like that to destroy a creature. But I think we still go ahead and tap out on this one to come across. Okay, so our opponent's going for a Birthing Pod activation. They're going to pay 2, get something on the battlefield. But if they go for that, they're going to have to pay 2 on that one. And this puts them down to 3, and that puts us online to go Creeping Tar Pit. It's going to be unblockable. They'd almost have to grab something like Acidic Slime. But then that would be, yeah, they can't get into Acidic Slime off that because it's only 3 mana. Okay, tapping out, going for Birthing Pod, puts him down to 3. Okay, our opponent scoops it up. They did go for the Birthing Pod activation, but luckily, we got it out. We had Creeping Tar Pit coming across next turn, and we had these Squirrel tokens. So, going a little Deranged Hermit beat sticks, man, and Avenger of Zendikar beat sticks. That's a pretty nice little game, nice little Damia game right there. So, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.